us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your personal history and what attracted you to the Baha'i faith. When did you become a Baha'i? That kind of thing.
Okay. Well, as I said, my first career was as a secondary school teacher, and then I became a social worker and a probation officer. And when I was training as a probation officer, I was probably about 27, I think. I met this particularly gorgeous young man, Grant Hindin-Miller.
I charge you all that each one of you concentrate all the thoughts of your heart on love and unity.
And when I met Grant at a residential training program for probation officers and social workers, and the very first thing that Grant said to me when I met him was he told me that he was a Baha'i, and I had never heard of the Baha'i faith before, so I said, what's that? Tell me about it. And so he did tell me about it, and I thought, that sounds interesting. I had been raised as a Christian. As a child, I'd gone to an Anglican school, and I had turned away from religion in my teenage years and as a young adult, and I guess really I regarded myself as an atheist as a young adult. I'd gone to university and I'd kind of rejected my understanding of religion. I wasn't comfortable with it was really God that I had a problem with, and I think that was because my understanding of God was this kind of really limited understanding about God as a sort of, old man with the beard kind of, which just made no sense to me whatsoever. So anyway, so Grant shared with me these, the wonderful social teachings of the Baha'i faith, which made perfect sense to me, and I think really makes sense to anybody in today's world. And I was particularly attracted by teachings like the equality of men and women. And because I was a feminist, and I thought, oh wow, that surprised me, because I didn't associate a kind of terrific concept like that as being part of a religion. That sounded quite unique to me. So I was comfortable with the social teachings of the Baha'i faith from the beginning. I must just add that I happened to marry this lovely young man, Grant, and he was a really he was a great example of a Baha'i in his own personal life and in his kind of daily practice, and it had quite a strong influence on me. And of course I met a lot of Baha'is, and I felt that they were lovely people. But I did have this ongoing difficulty with God, and you can't embrace a spiritually based faith if you don't accept the divine inspiration for it. So I accepted the teachings, but I had this challenge.
When I married Jenny, she wasn't a Baha'i and had never heard of the Baha'i faith. In fact, the whole notion of getting married was quite foreign to her. But I said, if you want my body, you have to marry me. And so, we married, and she was obviously exposed to, Baha'i friends and Baha'i teachings and thought. And after 2 years of marriage, we attended a wedding.
This wedding was the wedding of two Baha'i young people. The woman was Māori, the man was Pākehā, and the wedding was like a kind of mini United Nations of people. And one of the teachings of the Baha'i faith is unity in diversity and the oneness of humanity, which is a very beautiful teaching. And I was at this wedding, and I just, here was this kind of incredibly diverse and beautiful gathering of people, and I was there, and just something just kind of happened to my heart. I accepted all of these teachings in my head, But at this special occasion, I just kind of knew in my heart, just suddenly, just I guess in my sort of soul really, that these teachings were real, and that this wonderful principle of the oneness of humanity, the unity of humanity, was a real spiritual, living, vibrant teaching. And it was at that moment that, you know, that I knew that this was true. It wasn't just a set of lovely ideas, it was a spiritually inspired